Hey, Rick, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Oof, oof, oof. We've seen it. We've seen the first two episodes of Wandavision. And before we go too much further, welcome everybody. I don't think anybody's watching it at this point. They're probably still watching Wandavision.
Probably, yeah.
And if you're not, well, you should be, because, Rick, I've watched the first two episodes, and I'm just going to put it out on Front Street exactly what I think straight off the bat.
Sure.
I really enjoyed these first two episodes.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Rick?
You know what? Loved it. Really refreshing and different. And that's what, a show is, if you really, a show is supposed to pull you in that first, first episode, maybe the second, but within the first, 10, 15 minutes of the show, just, loved it.
Look, I especially, there's a lot to talk about.
There is.
And again, a spoilers, guys. Spoilers. So if you don't watch, I think live after show is self-explanatory. We are going to talk about things in detail. And obviously the format, the overall format of this show, what we've seen so far, it's each episode, the first two episodes we've seen, is basically done in a old sitcom format. Yeah. If that's pretty clear. So basically the conceit of the show is when you watch it, it's like you're watching a sitcom from the 1950s, and then the second episode is set in the middle of the 60s. There's a very distinct style with the conceit of the overall thing of the show.
Very bewitched at the very first.
Look,
1965. That's that feel.
Yes, definitely. The second episode is definitely 100% bewitched. Yeah. Well, I thought the first episode felt a bit of like the first season of Bewitched. Is you've actually seen the show, which they went for about 7-8 years or something. And you can't compare them, but they're very. How accurate they've done this, Rick, in the first two episodes. Like, if we're still going to go on about the concept, the overall look and style, it is absolutely pitch perfect. Down to the first episode, the way the black and white is used, the way the plot, like a very simple kind of plot in the first one, and the second one, it's a little bit more complex. You can tell the first episode very contained inside sets, a couple of sets, but the second one, they're out in the neighborhood. There's a bit bigger scope, and the black and white's actually a better quality black and white this time around. So it is very technically, they are doing an amazing job in the first two episodes, but we don't really watch Wandavision because of really that. We're watching it because of Rick. As a story so far, have you enjoyed it? Do you feel like, how does it make you feel, Rick?
You know what? I got goosebumps when I started seeing the actual intro, the Marvel intro come up, because we haven't seen any Marvel content for over a year. It
was pretty cool to go, man, they're giving it Marvel fanfare. They're just going for it.
And it was so good to hear that. I loved it. So that intro, anyway, but we're here to watch the show, talk about the show. So, I can see that maybe the younger generation might not adapt to it very quickly. They might find it a little bit boring, or they don't understand it.
That was my concern too, is very much a show of, I could go back to being a kid and having black and white televisions in our house. We had color main one, but our second, third TVs were black and white TVs. And those were the sitcoms that were playing in the afternoons after school. That was the Bewitched. It was the kind of Leave It to Lucy. That I Love Lucy. Absolutely. That was the type of stuff that we were watching. So I've got a personal memory of watching that content. And I think that's very striking within the first two episodes too, how accurate they are with the plot. Like using the conventions of the husband and wife not understanding each other. The boss is coming over for dinner, but the wife thinks they're having a romantic evening, and all these hijinks appear. They are definitely they've done that so perfectly. Yeah.
And we also started to notice some changes with Wanda herself, with her powers.
Yeah, look, I mean, like,
which is kind of
what was really interesting, I think, about that is because we'd seen the other movies, we all seen them. Straight away, I'm locked into the fact that I believe at this point they're in a different reality, but it's one she's constructed. Is that what we're agreeing on? Do you think that's where it's coming from? Is it in her head, or is it reality that she's created?
Well, then you look at that, you know.
I think it has to be reality because
it has to be
Doctor Strange and things like that. It has to be a realm.
There's hints, you know. There's like little Easter eggs, like I guess, you know, the little commercials. You know, the Stark toaster. You got that flashing light,
and that's the only thing in color in that episode. In that first episode.
Then you had the Strucker watch, and then talking about time.
It's interesting because you've touched on the commercials, so we should talk about them. We're kind of all over the place at the moment, but it's one of those shows. But yeah, the commercials. It's like each commercial represents somebody who's negatively impacted her life.
That's right.
So Tony Stark, obviously, because of the weapons, because if you know the origins, even though they're all buddy. Well, they're not really, are they? They're never friends because they're never friends. Oh, because they don't even interact with each other in Infinity War, do they? No, not at all. They do not interact at all. So the last time that Wandavision saw Tony, was Wandavision on Tony's side? She was in the beginning, and then she flipped.
She flipped.
Yeah, she flipped. So yeah, her and Tony don't get along. So you've got the commercial with the Stark toaster, and then the Strucker watch.
Strucker watch. Yeah, about
time.
Big emphasis.
I thought that were both very, very cool.
Very interesting. And then you had that aeroplane or the helicopter. That kind of making that.
Yeah, in the second episode, there was a couple of things.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about it. I really love that we're getting full scenes of a real, just straight out of one of those sitcoms. I mean, like they are self-contained episodes.
Yeah.
If they, you know what I mean? You put different actors in there, that would just be a normal sitcom kind of thing. And yeah, I'm just surprised they committed to it so much. I mean, they really committed to it, Marvel. They went, no, man, we're not going to show you scenes and get her to change to a different time period.
No.
We're going to give you full episodes of this is her in this time period, you know? The first crack, we're going to so obviously the show flows along like it's a completely normal sitcom. Hijinks ensue, like I said earlier. Away we go. But we do start to see cracks in the storyline that indicate to the audience, us, Rick, that not everything is what it seems. Now, I think the first time you get a real sense of it in WandaVision is it's the conversation, it's the dinner party, isn't it?
Yeah, well, so at the beginning, they had the calendar, and they didn't know there was a love heart on the calendar.
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was. There was an anniversary.
That was a very early indicator too.
Very saying that, okay, and they didn't know. I was like, yeah, but then there's other things.
They both didn't know what it was.
They didn't know what the anniversary was, and
But the dinner party is like, who are you? And that's where she really kind of like that's an intense scene, by the way. What an intense scene! Let the guy choke at the dinner table. For Vision just to go in and phase into his throat, peel out a chunk of steak.
Everyone was just kind of like frozen, and she was just like, "Yeah, stop it, and then it just.
But they just let this guy choke.
Let him go. He's like, what is happening? Anyone going to get up and help this guy?
It was crazy.
But then it just kind of, he just like flipped it, and then he kind of got up and went, "Yep, well, there's the time. Thanks very much." Didn't really say anything about it, which is kind of making me think, what's going on here,
Yeah.
And then this big promotion, because he doesn't know what his job is. What do they do at this? So
and that's the thing is like you got to remember.
Sorry, mate.
G'day, mate. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the show. I hope you've seen WandaVision, mate. I hope we're not spoiling it for you. Like the fact that he doesn't exist. Remember, in this, like he's dead. right? He's dead. So
That's
this is a manifestation from Wanda, right? That's what Vision is. But in this manifestation, he's aware enough that he's him, but he's trying to figure out why he can't remember things, what's going on, what's his purpose there. So there's not any confusion just from Wanda, which is the point. There's confusion from even Vision of what he's doing, like in that space. But he's kind of going along with it.
And he's trying to remember, but he just
doesn't
know because the boss.
But that first episode, we also get introduced to Agnes, the Catherine Hahn, who's wonderful,
nosy neighbor,
the nosy neighbor. And could they have cast any better, Rick?
She's awesome. She
was really good. She was really, really good. She's on point. It's really hard to tell because I thought she might be the villain in the show, and I know it's so early, but we really.
You don't know.
At this point, there's nothing indicating to me that she's villainous. So if she is, they're keeping that under the hat really well because there was nothing to indicate that she was a bad guy as such. So, yeah.
We don't know.
No. But, and so the show ended. Let's talk about the end of that episode, that first episode. That's when they really reveal, something weird is going on.
Yeah.
Because when we pan out from the end of the episode, we get to see TV. We get to see. Did you notice straight away where we were?
No.
Sorry? Do you know where that whole thing is set?
Panning out, and then
you see the logo.
Did I miss a logo?
Dude, you missed something huge. I'm surprised. Dude, that was Sword. If you saw the insignia, that's the signal for Sword.
Oh,
shield in space.
Yeah, where was that?
That was on a coffee mug and a pen. And the same on the helicopter, which we'll get into next episode. Also had the same logo. So Sword is the one trying to reach out to her. So we find that out at the end of the first episode, which is a huge reveal. It's a huge reveal to see the fact that we've got that Sword is in play. So because we know Sword's been around because we saw the end of Captain Marvel, which was the first time we'd said. So for the first episode's down, and I'm thinking, wow, they really went for it, Marvel. They really went for it. And it was a great little ending, but I didn't wait long. I jumped into season 2. You watched it? Yep. What do you think of not season 2, episode 2?
Episode 2. Yeah. It obviously flowed on to that whole style again. It still had that whole sitcom. Very, like I said before, very Bewitched. Very.
Did you notice that it changed? How long did it take for you to notice? Oh, this isn't in the same time period.
With certain things, as in obviously the color and all that changed, but then like little things like the cars and the stuff. In the background, like that.
Like in the episode, I started watching it. I'm going, her hair's different straight off the bat, and it was subtly, but the design was different.
The clothes.
So I knew within 30 seconds, this is like the mid 60s now. We're not in the late 50s. We're like mid to late 60s. So the aesthetic I found a change straight away in it. I thought it was really, really good. So getting into episode 2, Rick, was it better or worse?
No, it's great because if I'm correct, there is a big reveal there of a villain that came out, but we can talk about that later.
Okay. Kind of got me there.
If I'm correct, coming out of the sword. There was towards the end. Guy with the bees.
Yeah, what is he? Beekeeper? Yeah. Who would he be?
So it would be Franz von Meyer, who is Swarm. So he was a Nazi scientist who has ties with Spider-Man. He has a lot of things in the comics. He has a lot of things. I reckon it's him because you don't really see his face. Because he's actually, in Swarm of Bees. So you kind of, Which
could be, mate. Who knows at this stage?
Because remember, they're going to be expanding, a lot of the characters. And this is the perfect opportunity for Marvel to expand a lot of those characters and explore that aren't as popular and get them into the
I have no doubt. whatever character they deem necessary to drive the story along. They're going to throw it into it.
Yeah.
What I loved about the second episode personally, though, was it was that classic kind of, you know, mix up. We get to see Vision drunk, his own version of drunk.
He had the chewing gum.
The chewing gum playing havoc with his, I don't know, his system.
Mechanics in it.
We got to see some really strong. I mean, it's centered around a talent show, and you know, Wanda wants to be part of this really big social group of women. Us being
the scene with Dottie at the pool in her backyard, and then the radio. Like,
yes, the radio thing was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, there was lots of weird stuff happening. I mean, obviously, you know, all of a sudden she's pregnant towards the episode.
Yeah, at the end it all comes into color,
and then it all comes into color. So yeah, which is they're phasing into the next, obviously, next time period. Yeah, there's more hints in that episode that things are not quite right, Rick.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's lots more overt tips that it's not right, and a much more wackier performance by Paul Bettany in that second episode too. He really went for it. And I must admit, it took me out of the show a little bit because I just kept thinking, oh, that's so cool. Paul Bettany's getting to ham it up for a change, you know?
Yeah.
He does give us uber hammy performance in it, and so does she. But finally, there's changes in what the first and second episode that says that they're not just, they know what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
They're evolving those times. And I reckon you'll find their performances will evolve over each episode to fit the timeline. So it's going to be, but the first, it's very much a teaser. I think this is a show about discovery. It's a mystery. There's a lot of questions we don't even know to ask yet because we don't even fathom what the answers could be. There's a lot going on that we just don't know about yet, and 9 episodes, mate. I mean, we're not even at the end of the first act, if you think of it like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're still very early on in the storyline. So, well, that's Monica Rambone, by the way. That is in episode 2. Is it? I don't even know if she's in episode 1. Was she in there at all?
No.
The American lady?
No.
She's in episode 2 there. That's her in episode 2. Yeah. She doesn't make an appearance in episode 1. She definitely makes an appearance in episode 2, which is great. I think this is a bit of a cheat because I've seen it in the trailer, but she doesn't know who she is. But it's very evident in that she's playing it for real at that point. Yeah. So, so I don't think she knows who she is. I mean, we know from the trailer she's an agent of Sword or Shield, or looks like probably an agent of Sword now.
But how did she play into it?
How did she play into it and all that? So it's lots of mysterious stuff, but I really, really enjoyed it. I know it's I wasn't expecting an Endgame level TV show in the beginning. You know, I'm not expecting big special effects. I applaud the fact that they've actually just gone for it in regards to doing it right. So hang on a second.
That's right. What's Diego saying here?
Diego's saying? Well, Diego's back. It's the kind of TV show that needs to be watched more three times. I 100% Diego. And I think as we go along to feed into that, we'll see things that we'll uncover, which the scenes if we go back and watch the earlier episodes, they'll be pretty evident as well. So, I think it's got a lot of rewatchability. But I'll watch this pretty well. Probably after we do this, I'll watch it.
I'm going to watch it again. Yeah, I'm going to watch it again.
But then I'll probably leave it a little bit, watch each week, and then get a bunch of them and kind of watch them all together. But I definitely think for the next couple of episodes, we 100% are going to move into the 70s time period, which I believe is very Brady Bunch kind of style, visualistic. Into the 80s, which will be a family ties type of thing. Me and my son were actually joking just after the show we watched it, that wouldn't it be awesome if they went to a Friends time period, but it was all the old school Avengers? It's like Chris Evans, Robert Downey, and that. characters. I think that was a brilliant idea. I wish they had done that. But yeah, I think it's all the decades of sitcoms.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a reference point. You know what's a bit of a darker kind of. I mean, the question could be why? Why is she doing this? Why in that format? She's created a reality based upon a sitcom. And the only thing I can put it down to, and this is going to get dark, is the fact she had such a horrible childhood. That was probably a representation of what normality was supposed to be. Hence, that's why she's created the reality of it. She came from Sokovia, parents blowing up, all that kind of stuff. Like, she did not have a great upbringing. So that's why I reckon she created that reality, is based upon that was almost deemed a safe space when she was a kid.
In her head.
Yeah. I think so. Sorry to bring the show down, mate, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. There's so much going on in the show, though. There's so much going on.
That's right.
And I think that's a testament to the writing. That they're really, like I said, I keep saying going for it because I don't know how else to describe the fact that they've just decided just to not pull back, not get scared of the concept of doing each episode in a different sitcom style in a time period. That I think a lot of other people go, we'll do a scene here and then we'll keep it moving fairly quickly. And they don't. I mean, there are times in these episodes, Rick, where they really take their time. I'll be honest with you. There was a point in their second episode, I'm thinking, you probably could move it along here. And then I quickly thought, well, no, this is what the show would be like when I was a kid. This is the show. So, yeah, it's so much respect I have for it, for sure.
No, it's like I said, it's different. It's refreshing to see this on TV. It's so good. Not that it's Marvel content, but just like you said, the style of it and how they're going with it. So, kudos to
it's
Marvel.
Definitely a journey series. It's each episode is like a different layer. We're going to learn so much more as we go along. I think that's fun television. That's good television, though. Don't you want that kind of television where you watch an episode and you're going, holy crap, look what they put on that episode. So you're talking about it and you're looking forward to the next one.
Because that's the whole point of the TV show.
And I absolutely agree. I am looking forward to the next one already.
Yeah.
Because I like the time period. I definitely spent way too much time as a kid watching the Brady Bunch and those type of 70s sitcoms. And I definitely want to see more about what's going on with Sword. And what's going on with them trying to, because the one thing that blew my mind out of the second episode, Rick, was when that Sword agent turned around and said, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" Now that threw me for a little bit because I always assumed that she's done it. But what if she hasn't done it?
No, it's wrong.
Okay, definitely Wanda's projecting her childhood and traumas right now. Let's remember Wanda is a very complex character in the comic books. Absolutely, and I certainly think that's one of the challenges they've had with Wanda, isn't it? To really give that. We got it, mate. We knew you were saying childhood. It's all good. Diego just put we got you. We got the gist. So it's a tough thing to really flesh out Wanda completely and get all her story, pay homage to her in the right way. But this show looks like it's going to do it.
I think you're going to see more of
and you're right, her childhood trauma. Seeing her kids seeing her family getting blown up and living that really tough life that she has. And then in the meantime, like discovering, being experimented on as well, remember? She's created. She's brought to life with the which stone was it? The power stone? What's the stone in the staff, Rick? Don't leave me hanging, buddy. Don't leave me hanging.
No.
This is all on you. You've got 3 seconds to answer, Rick. You're not going to get it, Rick. No, it doesn't matter. The point is that she's been kind of created as well as,
Yeah, but
so she's had a hard life. She's had a hard life.
But then we were seeing, like I was telling you about before, her powers. You can see this because she never used that style of powers obviously in the MCU. with the talent show, right? You know how Vision's hovering, then she just clicked, made the rope, made everything appear. She's making things appear, and she did that in the first episode with the dinner. With the chicken.
That's the conceit of their characters. That's the kind of the bitch witch angle, She's she's an android, and they're trying to keep it secret. They're trying to have a normal life in suburban America.
So we're seeing that.
So and that's where they get very similar to what Bewitched was. It was always that.
It just reminded me. It was always, especially that. And
My Dream of Jeannie's got a fair whack of that as well.
Yeah.
So it's very reminiscent of that. So look, all I can say is I wouldn't rate the episodes at all because I think it's such part of a larger canvas. It's inappropriate to say what I thought really of these episodes, except that only way to rate it is I can't wait for next week. I suppose it's the best rating.
That's it. But what do you think? We're going to get some crossovers here. We're going to see some people from the MCU.
Yeah, we are definitely going
to see. There's rumors around saying there was,
I would suspect we'll see Doctor Strange. I think that's the most obvious one. If this is leading into the multiverse of madness, and she has a key role in that movie, they're currently filming in London, where they're on a break because of the pandemic, but they are in the midst of production with that film. Yeah. So
maybe.
I think for a transition you'll have him in there, but that probably I don't expect that to last episode.
Yeah.
Will we see any others? I mean, we get to see Darcy. We know she's in it.
She's definitely in it. Yeah.
Definitely in it. We saw that in the trailer. We don't know which episode she comes into it. We've got Darcy, and we've got Wong as well, haven't we?
Yes. Yes, we have. Yep.
Yeah. The guy for the FBI agent from
Ant-Man. Yeah. The Asian guy.
We've got some people. Well, we're not going to get any A-listers in this.
No, you're not going to see Iron Man or anything like that.
Captain America. This is not. Let's just quickly go into this, Rick. It's not the format. Let's do it. There was a story reported by everyone today that Chris Evans is close to signing a deal for the MCU again. He's contracting back. He's coming back. Every big websites are reporting this. And and I thought, wow, really? Maybe he's coming back for an event film. Maybe it's for some cartoon. I don't know. Anyway, by 11 o'clock in the morning, my time here, and I have Twitter and I follow Chris Evans on Twitter. Boom, it just comes up going news to me.
Yeah,
and I straight away, wow. So if you've heard the rumor that Chris Evans is coming back to the MCU, it may be true.
Who starts his rumors?
Chris Evans hadn't heard about it, and why would he lie about it?
No, that's right. That's right.
Anyway.
Someone just says one thing and then it just.
I'd love it. I'd bring back Chris Evans. Absolutely. Do some time thing and bring him, bring Cat back. I love it.
They brought Colton back. So,
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So, it's the
all right. Okay, well, that's it. The first ever official MCU's TV show, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not Agent Carter. Though I hate saying Agent Carter isn't part of the MCU because that was a good show, but definitely not.
I like that show, and they just canned it after the two seasons.
It's not official canon. They're considering this type of streaming shows to be their official canon. So, but as for the first introduction, great. And remember, this was not supposed to be the first show out of the gate. Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first show out of the gate, but they changed it up. And why not start with a mystery? And that's what they've done. And they've done a great job.
And then pretty much after this, we'll lead into Falcon and Winter Soldier. So.
We'll talk about it more on Monday, but they have released on the PCS live show on Monday nights at 7:30 time. That they have released the links and the schedule of all the upcoming Marvel shows. Bit of a list. That's why I'm going to it Monday night, not tonight.
Yeah, no, Monday for sure.
But yeah, that was great. I loved seeing that we've got MCU stuff. It started off slow, folks, but I guarantee you by episode 7, 8, 9, our jaws are going to be hitting the floor.
You're going to be seeing some, Avengers
think,
Endgame style.
correct.
Yeah. You're gonna see
Absolutely brilliant. Oh, well, Rick, I'm going to tie it up. Unless anyone out there wanted to leave us a comment, any questions you guys have got. Thanks for watching so far. It's been absolutely love the idea of doing this. We're doing this every week throughout every show, aren't we, Rick?
Yeah,
we're going to be. It'll normally be at 7:30 p.m. Adelaide, Australia time.
Yeah,
look that up.
You guys got to do conversion.
Every Friday night. That's when we'll do it. Whatever time that is, wherever you guys are. So, yeah, get in on it. Absolutely. You know,
we want to hear from you guys for sure.
Yeah.
We've got 5 people that have joined us. Hello, everyone. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well,
we have to handle the traffic, Rick.
The internet's going to crash.
And look, we lost to
about.
Oh, Susan mentioned it too. When
I'm going to shut my mouth now.
Either way, no, we all do it just for fun. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Monday. Yeah, we'll see you Monday.
Monday we'll see you for PCS live, of course. And then next Friday night, we'll have episode 2 of the Wandavision live on the channel. As well as any breaking stories will be all over it.
That's it. Thank you very much, guys.
Watching, and we'll see you.